Hello there, fellow classmates. My name is Valentine Molango, and today I'm presenting chapter 2 of our text. I hope you have your PowerPoints ready to go, and the focus is the changing environment of organizations. Next slide. Every organization is surrounded by five environmental factors affecting its operations. We have globalization, diversity, employment relationships, ethics and corporate governance, and of course, technology. Next slide. Diversity. Diversity is the similarities and the differences we can or cannot observe among the people we work with. There are different types, but I'm going to focus on the top two. Surface level diversity. When I started this presentation, you could tell that I am a male and that I am black. Those are all surface level characteristics. But there is also deep level diversity, which is one's personality, one's thought process, one's values and beliefs. And you cannot know these things unless you engage at a deeper level with a person. Also, the changing demographic trends will shape most organizations in the next decade. I'm talking about in the next 10 years. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, by 2030, 1 in 5 people will be 60 and over. What this means for managers is that there needs to be a transition plan in place. Why is diversity important? It is vital, especially today, because managers are responsible for hiring, retaining, and engaging the best talent. And in a diversified environment, for diversity to thrive, they need to be a certain pattern, or organizations need to do away with certain barriers. Some of them is stereotype or ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is simply the belief that your norms, your values, your language, they're superior to all others. There's one thing that baffles me. Like, I have been to different countries as a journalist and as a military service member. And no one has ever told me that I have an accent, except here in the United States that I get to hear it most often. I just believe that we were born in different places, different countries, and we're not expected to have the same accent. It's just stupid. That's just my thought. The Chinese don't expect Mexicans to speak like them. Mexicans don't expect Brazilians to speak like them. I mean, just the way I think. Next slide. Globalization and business. A key trend in globalization is the exponential growth of international trade, especially between 1960 and 2018. One of the reasons for this is improved communication. Most developing nations nowadays, they have telephones, not just landlines, but they also have mobile phones. They have the internet and they have computers, fax machines. All this improvement is driving international trade to grow alongside improved transportation and other businesses trying to go global as well. So globalization therefore calls for cultural competence, which is the ability to interact effectively with other people. Again, in the military, I get to deal with a lot of folks from different countries. Just knowing that a thumbs up, which is widely accepted in the United States as a sign of agreement or concurrence, is an offensive gesture in Saudi Arabia. Knowing this alone can save a lot of relationships in the long run. As most businesses expand, the need to adopt a global perspective becomes paramount. What does this mean? It means that every one of us should be open to learning and willing to learn other people's culture and not have the belief that our language, our culture, Our norms are superior to everyone else. That's just not how it is. And to do this, we need to stay away from any form of bias, stereotypes, or prejudice. Next slide. Technology and business. Technology is a major environmental issue nowadays for businesses. The rollout of 5G, for instance, is already easing usually complicated business processes. A lot of people think that 5G has come to, improve the speed of streaming high definition video. 5G has come to do more than that. It has come to change how we interact with machines. And not only is the manufacturing industry like Nissan or Samsung or Apple are benefiting from new technologies, the service sector is doing so as well. Talk about the transportation services like Uber or Lyft, or your local barber shop or your local nail salon. They're all cashing in on this trend of new technologies. And now, while information technology and social media is shaping how people do businesses today, it, however, does not replace the human interaction. It is always important to continue human relations where possible. Like, I talk with my boss all the time, most of the time, on the phone and through emails. But from time to time, he will come down to my office, just say hello. And that is a motivating factor for me. Next slide. Ethics and corporate governance. There have been many ethical breaches just in the last decade alone. Let's take 2015. We had the Volkswagen emission scandal. The very next year, 2016, we had the Wells Fargo scandal. This bank opened 200 million unauthorized bank accounts for its customers. As recent as last year, we have the college admission scandal. This is why managers face a variety of ethical situations. In most cases, these situations involve how the organization deals with its treats its employees. We're talking about the hiring process, how they fire people, how they pay people, and of course the working conditions and employee privacy and respect. Ethics also has to do with how employees treat the organization. It's a two-way street or it's a three-way street. Here I'm talking about conflicts of interest, secrecy, and confidentiality, and of course, honesty. Again, I don't get to tell my family everywhere I'm going at this time. I might tell them like I'm traveling next week or I'm traveling next month, but I don't go into the details as to the times and the dates because sometimes this is confidential or classified. And every company has some sort of information they don't want leaking out to the public or to competitors. It is the right thing for employees to safeguard this information. Also, ethics has to do with how employees and organizations treat their economic agents. I'm talking about customers, stakeholders, stockholders, or the unions. What Wells Fargo did to its customers was just unethical, and the employees and the organization they were all in on this. It was just unethical and illegal. Next slide. New employment relationships. Learning how to manage knowledge workers such as computer scientists, physical scientists, engineers, video game developers, and regular workers like accountants or executive assistants is becoming very crucial in today's modern business. Also, the manager also has the temporal and contingent workers to deal with. And if not properly dealt with or properly managed, things might go into chaos. Next slide. Our discussion question is, as the hiring manager for a PR position, you interview 10 candidates after much filtration, you end up with 2 top candidates, and they have equal qualification, the same strengths, but one of them is your cousin. Who would you hire and why? That ends my presentation. Thanks for watching and goodbye.